Welcome, everybody. This is the Weekly Brew podcast for SSG Baseball. My name is Zach Jadovsky. You can call me Yado. Everybody, let's have some fun. Let's get right into it. We got some announcements. Mark Nick, he is the new GM of the Giants. He is replacing Nate Brooks. Nate Brooks did not get fired. He transitioned to South Bend. He's got the Marlins GM job, multi-year deal over there. Also, on the website, we got new content. I myself talk about the Atlanta Braves in the 2017 season and what we're looking at 18. Also, Nate Brooks talks about his transition to Miami and how that process came about. Jim as well has stuff about his Yankees last year, and he also is doing an article, a couple segments about top 100 prospects. He's down to 51 prospects. He's got 50 left. So go on the website, check it out. He is updating that daily. So again, get the website. Let's get some feet over there. Let's get some eyes on the content, and let's really support this community. So anyways, this is the winter meetings. They started today, but today doesn't quite hold a candle to what happened this past week. All right, we have the Mariners are in 3 different deals. You got the Red Sox in 2 different deals. You've got the Braves in 2 different deals. So let's jump into it. Red Sox, they traded 31-year-old reliever CC Lee to the Mariners, getting 20-year-old reliever Ulysses Perez in return. This whole thing, the Mariners have stressed that they need some relief pitching. They need relief pitching. Boston will be stressing that later. But in this deal, Mariners got CC Lee. He didn't do so great in the past couple years. He got picked up by Boston, but was with Cleveland first. He really kind of struggled. In 2016, he had 61 innings, 1.91 ERA. That was very good, but that's it. Other than that, he struggled. He came up to Cleveland last year, got picked up by Boston this year. For Boston, put up a 10.2 innings pitched, 15 hits, and 5 walks. So we're going to have to see how that pans out. Will he make the starting bullpen or not? But the Red Sox got Perez. He's a 20-year-old in AZL, almost 40 innings pitched last year, 3.89 ERA, and he sits about 96. He's average. Keep an eye out. Red Sox, they also in another trade. Paul Dyer does not pick up his phones for trades, but he decided to this past week. So anyways, they traded 21-year-old reliever Josh Mitchell and 19-year-old starting pitcher Anderson Espinoza to the Diamondbacks, and then returned Diamondbacks sent over 27-year-old reliever Mike Stykes. Diamondbacks have been saying that they need to move salary. They need to get younger. And again, the Red Sox need to improve their bullpen, who was the 14th in the American League last season. So Stykes had a strong showing in 2017. He threw 84 innings, 78 appearances. Very high. But in that time, he put some strong numbers up. He had his lowest hits that he's given up in a major league season, lowest home runs per 9, and highest strikeouts of 9 in his career since 2014 in the big leagues. Mitchell, on the other hand, he's very impressive to me. He spent his year in the rookie ball, the DSL to the GSL. He went from his innings were 24.1 innings pitched, and in that time he only gave up 12 hits. 27 strikeouts, and he sits 97. He keeps his hits down, he keeps his walks down. Very small sample size, but again, that's somebody I would keep my eye out for. Espinoza, he is on the other side of this deal as well with Mitchell being sent over to the Diamondbacks. Espinoza signed in 2016. This was his first year in pro ball, and it wasn't too bad. 42 innings, 1.48 whip. Walks were normal. Strikeouts were a little below normal for what I would want to see. But he looks to see. Let's look and see how he progresses. All right, now the Braves, they traded 25-year-old minor league third baseman Brandon Drury and 23-year-old starting pitcher Zach Quintana to the Dodgers, and in return, the Braves got 28-year-old Andres Santiago and 19-year-old first baseman Eric Meza in return. Drury's been with the Braves last 2 years, had a really good year in 16, 17, not so much. He lost his starting job, and then they traded for Jake Lamb, so he's being blocked, totally blocked now. Quintana, he came from a real-life trade from the Yankees to the Braves. He's done okay with the Braves. This past year was very good, but in that meantime, he kind of lost some traction. His age is still young, so he does still have a good opportunity to make a difference in a major league club. But in return, the Braves got Santiago, and he logged 186 innings with the Major League Dodgers last 2 years, 4.29 ERA. And if he keeps his batted balls in play down, which he's been very unlucky with, he could have good success. He's definitely a fifth starter. So I expect the Braves to slot him in there. I'm not sure if he'll fight for a job or not. Meza, he shows incredible power. The young first baseman, 19 home runs in 64 games in his professional career. But his contacts might not be there over time. Scouts are saying that they're probably going to level out once he sees really good pitching. So he is a project for the Braves. Late last night, Braves also traded Clint Couture to the Mariners for reliever Chasen Shreve and Nick Rumblo, 2 relievers for an outfielder. Couture for the Braves showed average power numbers, above average power numbers with 19 home runs last season, and it seems that that's what attracted the Mariners the most. Braves seem to have a slew of outfield talent and needs to focus more on bullpen. Last year was atrocious for them. Couture will have to fight for a starting job in the upcoming season, I'm sure, because the Mariners have a good amount of outfield talent as well. But they did trade Piscotty, and I'll get to that later. Shreve's coming to the Braves. He is a strikeout phenom from the left side, a little over 12 strikeouts per 9, and even higher at AAA. So he can definitely compete, and he can prove himself at the major league level. Rumblo, on the other hand, he was in the big leagues first time last year, only 11 innings under his belt, and he suffered really hard control issues with 8 walks in 11 innings. So he won't be on the rotation, the bullpen probably. He'll have to fight for a spot. Now, late last night, I woke up to it this morning. The Mariners made another deal to get another reliever. And this one isn't even confirmed by the organizations. Just my sources told me this. So it looks that they struck a deal, and the Mariners are sending Steven Piscotty, who I told you earlier, to the Reds for 24-year-old Jacob Lindgren. Lindgren is a very dominant. He has closer potential, and he's definitely can really replace Shreve for the Mariners, and he's definitely going to be there every single day. I'm not sure if he'll be in the closing position, but he's got a chance to take it. But then Piscotty was sent from the Mariners to the Reds. The Piscotty was picked up by the Diamondbacks, and since then he just has not been happy, and the general manager for Damon for the Mariners have stated this. So they wanted to kind of get him out, try to get something for him, because this year was not as good as last year. His average was 20 points lower. He had more power numbers, but he struck out more and he walked less. So he was having a hard time getting on base. Now looks like he can fit in and slip in right into the Reds lineup. So will be something to have for the Reds. Notable signings. Again, this is the winter meetings. This is a busy week. We have a lot of stuff going on. The Orioles made 2 kind of big signs. They first signed Greinke to a 4-year extension worth a total of $68 million. To me, this might be the sign of the offseason, mainly because of the books. This year he's making $24 million, and he is always a Cy Young candidate. $24 million this year. Next year, starting in 2019, $14 million. $10 million's off their books that they can do with something else. They can get somebody else. That's amazing. Might be the signing of the offseason. Also, they signed Jared Weaver to a 2-year deal. Veteran presence. Get him in there. Let him get some innings. Try to help bridge that starting rotation, because they had the 14th worst starting rotation by ERA in 2017. Next notable signing, we have Mr. Chris Sale was re-signed by the Blue Jays for a 7-year contract worth $151 million. Chris Sale, he is dominant every year. The last 2 years for Toronto has been there, pushed it really hard. He deserved this payday. He is 3rd in Cy Young voting this past season, and it is well-deserved, and we want to just tell Mr. Sale thank you for what he's done. You know, that's what it's about. Phillies, they signed A.J. Pollock to a 3-year deal worth a little over $9 million a year. Pollock started the year with the Nationals, struggled, got sent down to AAA, put up numbers. Then he got sent over to Seattle, where he finished his season at Seattle, only 12 games in the big leagues. Numbers weren't anything spectacular, but the Phillies definitely think he's worth $3 million a year. Next, we have Matt Garza. I know the Astros are very excited about Matt Garza. They got him for a 2-year deal at $14 million. Started the year at Baltimore. Did not put up good numbers at Baltimore. Got sent over to the Nationals. Played in 12 games over there, but only started 3. Had a 2.6 ERA. Put up some numbers, got 2 wins. So the Astros think he's deserving of a 2-year deal at $14 million. Drew Hutchison was re-signed by the Royals. For me, he has a question mark to him. I like him. He started the year at the Nationals, put up really strong numbers, the same kind of numbers he put when he got traded to the Royals, but he only had 1 win. You have 1 win against a World Series caliber team? I don't understand that. But when he went to the Royals, he did put up his numbers there, got 9 wins in about 93 innings. So on the year he went 10-8, but 9-2 at the Royals. So it could have been a good sign. Very nice sign. Just under $10 million a year. Check him out this season. Carlos Santana was also signed by the Angels, first baseman, to a 2-year contract worth $18 million. They do lose a compensation pick. They plan on using him as a DH and maybe other spots in the infield like first base and third base. A lot of stuff going on, like I said. This is the off season. We do have some rumors. New GM over at the Marlins is already actively shopping Giancarlo Stanton and AJ Ramos. Both are absolute threats, but both have a price tag on their head, and will also cost other organizations some prospects. I see Ramos maybe moving this season. I don't really see Stanton moving this season unless somebody wants to go out and really open their wallet for him. Blue Jays, they're looking to move David Robertson and Josh Reddick. Both of them had average years, pretty nice stuff. And the Tigers are offering pieces like Kyle Ryan, James McCann, and shortstop Hakeem Lee to look at improving their bullpen. So I wonder if they will even try for Ramos or Robertson. Ramos' contract's a little more than Robertson, but I know that the Tigers have already specified their books are full. So again, they would have to get money off the books to be able to sign them or trade for them. Lastly, Phillies have open talks about Jose Rivera, 29-year-old making $22 million a year. 2 years in the big leagues, has put up no more of an average of a 2.40 in either 2 years, but he does put up home runs and he does put runs over the plate in RBIs. So somebody might go after him. I don't know what they'll give for him because his power numbers are there, but his average numbers are not there, and he's not consistent. But he does, like I said, he does put runs over the plate. But again, guys, I appreciate everybody coming here. I appreciate you listening, and I would love if you could just show some support to this community. Mike Lowe has done a ton. We've got a lot of pieces inside this community that just help him out, and really look to make this something that it is now. Again, I enjoy making this podcast. I'm going to do it every Tuesday before noon. Today is an exception. Today is Thursday. But like I said, I did want to start this podcast, so I wanted to do it now. And anyways, next Tuesday, I will have one for the 4 days, 5 days, whatever it is. I will have one done. But today, go out there, like it. And guys, I really appreciate you coming with my daily brew. This is Zach Jadovsky. Make sure you call me Yado when we meet. And everybody, let's go. Have a good day.